Our series on continuing to keep the spirit of Mardi Gras alive through the sharing of Mardi Gras memories past continues with the front man of one of the bands in New Orleans that is synonymous with Mardi Gras. And the name of the band is, and the name
Cowboy Mouth.
is Cowboy Mouth. Right. Cowboy Mouth is a term for somebody with a loud and excitable voice. And that's one way to describe frontman Fred LeBlanc. Hey, Fred, welcome.
Hey, Scooter, how you doing?
I'm good. Look, I know you guys have seen many, many Mardi Gras because I've been to many Cowboy Mouth Mardi Gras concerts. One in
Oh,
particular, I'll share that memory with you. It's almost as if this band was built for Mardi Gras.
pretty much, yeah, pretty much. We actually recorded some Mardi Gras songs, and I've written so many songs about Mardi Gras, like "Crazy About You," "Mardi Gras by Moonlight." I can't even remember "The Avenue," obviously,
Yeah.
and it's just one of those things. It's just such a part of the DNA of growing up and living in New Orleans, or anywhere around it.
I have a problem remembering all of my Mardi Gras past. I'm sure you do too.
Me
Of the
too.
of the Mardi Gras that you do remember, share a good Cowboy Mouth Mardi Gras memory with us.
The Cowboy Mouth Mardi Gras memory or a Fred Mardi Gras memory? Because there's
Well,
tons.
let's do both.
Okay, first, let's see, Cowboy Mouth. Oh man, the first we've been doing that Spanish Plaza gig for a while, where we play on Lundi Gras.
Yeah.
And the first year we did it, it was like 1996, I think. And for some reason, even though it was cold, they kept the water, the pond that's in the center of the waterfall, that whole thing. They
Right.
kept that water, and it was about 30 degrees. I just went out there and jumped in it, and apparently a bunch of people followed me in there. It was pretty nuts. It was pretty
Oh
nuts.
my God. It's like one of those like frozen dips.
Yeah, pretty much, pretty much, pretty much. But I didn't get sick, and hopefully nobody else did. But that was a lot of fun. There's about like every year we do that, unless the weather's really excessive. But even we played it a couple of times in the rain. There's usually about at least 5 to 10,000 people. We did it last year, and it was great. It was just packed. People went berserk, and it was a lot of fun.
How tough is it to go this Mardi Gras without performing and without the idea of parades?
Honestly, I might tick some people off by saying this, but I think it's a bunch of BS. You know, Health concerns aside, there should be ways to make this happen, but it is what it is. I think New Orleans is such a part of. I think Mardi Gras is such a part of the New Orleans. Once again, DNA. It's part of who we are. It's just celebration for celebration's sake. And I think saying that we can't do this because of an illness with a 99% survivability rate is pretty foolish. But everybody's got their opinions, and it just seems to me that that there's some people that are really enjoying being able to tell us what we can and can't do a little more than they probably should.
Well, I definitely think that is the case. Although I think there's a merit to being cautious about
Sure.
all of this, and I really don't know what the answer is to events like
We,
Mardi Gras. It's going to be hard to have it.
we have several vaccines. We have, there's, what do they call that? Prophylactic medicines for use. There's all kinds of stuff. You can't just live in fear. I mean, the fact that people are so scared of it, helps make your body, if your mind is in fear, helps make your body that much more susceptible. Not that I'm a medical expert in any way, shape, or form. It's just been my experiences when I'm all stressed out and worried. That's when I tend to get sick. When I'm relaxed and feel, and just, know that, I'm doing my best and that the big man upstairs is taking care of things. That's when I'm at my healthiest.
I definitely agree with that. I mean, I think there's a lot to that. So you have this wild image on stage,
Mhm.
and that's just part of the persona of the band. But there's another side of Fred LeBlanc that not everybody knows about, and I want you to talk a little bit about that. There's a side of you that's very deep and reflective. The songs that you wrote after Katrina, like "Home" and "The Avenue,"
Mhm.
reveal this deep side of you.
Well, Home was actually co-written with Paul Sanchez. He used to play guitar with us, and he's a local New Orleans singer-songwriter. He plays in a band called the Wright Brothers, with another one of my favorite singer-songwriters, a guy named Jim McCormick. Actually, Home was his inspiration. I basically just helped him finish that. But, you know, it was, there was a line that a friend of mine had sent me in an email during Katrina. And she, you know, she had sent this long email, and at the end of it, she just wrote in all capital letters, "I just want to go home." I was like, "Ooh, that's a good line," you know. And then when Paul came up with the idea of the song, you know, the line that really turned me on was something about Fats Domino. You know, is Fats Domino had to swim out of the Ninth Ward. I forget that, I haven't listened to the song in a while, but like that, and the Avenue. The Avenue is a song I wrote completely on my own, and the, you know, it was such a I had this vision of New Orleans being a really good friend of mine, and we were just, it was just a kind of a visualization thing where we were sitting on a street corner, and my friend, the person of New Orleans, had just gotten in a really bad bar fight and had just gotten the hell kicked out of it. And I kind of had this visualization of me putting my arm around this friend of mine named New Orleans and saying, "Yeah, this is really bad. This is really, really bad, but it will get better." And it did. And just like all this, it's really bad, but it'll get better, and it will.
And we'll get through this too, you know, whether, whatever, regardless of your opinion on what needs to be done to slow the spread of COVID, regardless of what we have as a challenge, we will get through this too. It's tough. It's really tough right now for a lot of people.
It is tough for a lot of people, and you know, it's important to remember, but it's important to remember that a lot of people are having a very hard time with it, not just physically, but emotionally,
Oh, yeah.
mentally, socially. But I mean, people need people, you know, and keeping people away from other people only, you know, sows like distrust and, you know, negative emotions and things like that. People need to be around people, and that's one of the great things about Mardi Gras: the ability to share, you know, space with other people. A lot of times, people you don't know, and see how decent and kind and funny and open people can actually be. You know, so I think that's important.
You know, when you go to a parade and you're standing there, you know, sometimes hours before the parade, you don't know the people around you, but you do form this sense of community, and they temporarily become fast friends.
They temporarily become fast friends, sometimes family. They keep an eye out not only for you, sometimes your kids, your family. It's like, oh, you know, come back over here, and then you do the same.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like a really quick forming community, and I love that. I have some pictures and videos of people, of me just posing with people who were some of my best friends in that moment.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the magic of Mardi Gras. All right, so take us back to an early memory of little Fred LeBlanc and Mardi Gras.
Oh, little Fred LeBlanc.
Little
Oh,
Fred LeBlanc.
little Fred LeBlanc. Little Fred LeBlanc. First time I was on television was when I was about 7 years old. My family had gone down to St. Charles and I think Louisiana. Um, and my dad had slammed his pinky finger in the car door, so he had to walk to the hospital while the rest of, you know, my mom, brothers and sisters were out on St. Charles Avenue having a great time. And then I think it was actually WWL that was driving down the street with one of their cameras, driving down St. Charles Avenue as part of the parades, and kids were gathering around, you know, just looking at it, you know, because people weren't as used to cameras back then. So I remember got
Right.
home that, watched the news, and there I was. It's like, wow, I'm kind of a funny looking kid. But I had a lot of really fun Mardi Gras. Like the everybody in New Orleans, everybody has at least one wild Mardi Gras story. And being, you know, in a rock band and a musician that's, you know, had a public persona for like 35 years, I have many, 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 many stories.
Well,
Uh, I'll,
give us one you can share. I'm
I'll
sure
tell.
you can share all of them.
This one's a tiny bit risque, but I'll share this one. Speaking of which, it was WWL again. I was walking down the street, and it was Mardi Gras afternoon, and it was one of those years where, for a while, the band insisted on playing Thursday and Fridays before Mardi Gras, and we would take the rest of the weekend off. We would park our old tour bus down in the warehouse district when you could get away with that. So everybody partying, you know, like the band and our crew and our circle of friends, we'd have a place to go to the bathroom or pass out if we needed to. And so so one night, one afternoon, I was sitting there stumbling down St. Charles Avenue, trying to reach the bus, and I'd been partying pretty hard for literally like 3 days straight. I would just fall asleep and wake up and just go to parades and drink and just raise hell. And so I was walking, and you know that feeling of Mardi Gras day in the afternoon where you're just kind of partying because you know it's going to stop. And it's, I keep partying. Stop. I have to keep it going. So all of a sudden, I hear a voice, Fred, and I turn, and it's Eric Paulson, and he's set up on some big stand in front of the old Anne Rice mansion that she had on St. Charles Avenue. And they have like it's like a giant camera. It's like a live TV setup. And this is like mid to late 90s. Yeah, late 90s. And, you know, and I was just not in good shape at all. I was just, you know, I was not in good shape. He goes, hey, let's do an interview. And I'm like, that's a bad idea, Eric. No. So he's sitting there, and he gets the little weather guy at the time. I forgot his name. They were all dressed up in tuxes and their Mardi Gras finery. You know, they were basically broadcasting the parade live. And so the little weather guy, I forgot his name. He's a young kid at the time. He goes, look who's here on the parade route. We're going to do an interview with Fred from Cowboy Mouth. And I look like Barney the drunk. I was like, and he's trying to interview me, and I can barely function. I'm just bleary-eyed. And that year, the big throw were oversized women's underwear, like comically oversized women's underwear. And for some reason, he hung them up like right this, because he was taller than me. Hey, look what I caught this year. And he holds up this pair of women's underwear. What? And just there I am on national TV. All of a sudden, I just go. The camera, if you look at the camera, it shoots up to the trees. And all of a sudden, anybody watching TV just sees trees. Or Eric, like,
great story.
Up.
Great story.
They pull the camera down slowly, and then you see me. I'm like this.
Well, you warned them. It's not like you didn't warn them.
I told them it was a bad idea.
Hold on, this is not a good idea right now.
Well, my parents were both alive at the time, and you got to understand, my parents were very different than me. I was very outgoing. I was the youngest child. And and my dad studied for years to be a Catholic priest. I mean, he was very devout and all this stuff. And my mom was very much the rule follower. You know, wonderful people. I miss them, obviously, but you know, they were alive then. They happened to be watching the TV when it happened. And there I was like 36 or 37 years old, and I got punished. I can't believe you did that. Go to your house. You know?
I remember one Mardi Gras, I was living in Denver, and a guy that I became friends with, Ed Novak, owns a restaurant, a hotel there. And I was doing live commercials for his restaurant and his hotel. In fact, that's the guy that when you came to Denver, he gave Cowboy Mouth the entire floor of his hotel in Boulder.
Yes.
Now, did you guys like run around that? You had the whole floor to yourself. Did you like run around naked and stuff?
No. With Cowboy Mouth shows, everybody else could always do the wild stuff off stage. I always did the wild stuff on stage, and then when I got off stage, I'd go to sleep because it takes a lot to do what I do. I saved the wild stuff when we were off the road. When I was on the road, I was pretty much a good voice, because if I blew my voice out or hurt myself, you know, that put like 6 to 10 people out of work. So, you know, I was
yeah, true.
But
so,
yeah,
he's never been to Mardi Gras. So I said, well, let's go to Mardi Gras. So we fly to Mardi Gras. I call you, and you get us backstage passes for this big Cowboy Mouth concert in the Warehouse District. And we're backstage, and man, you served him. He was just so shocked that he was served vodka in this like large, giant, big gulp type cup. And it was all vodka. And as he continued to drink it, he started to become an expert on Cowboy Mouth. He goes, you know, do you think Fred really should be wearing those pink shorts? And he just started critiquing the band, and it was so funny. And I'll never forget, the next day, Ed said, Scoot, I think they overserved me.
Well, one morning I did an interview. There's this big radio station that was like one of the stations that was responsible for making Jenny Says a big hit. There's a big radio station called 99X, and they were one of the influential radio stations in the country at the time. Huge fans of ours, played all our singles, played us for a long time until they went under like the mid 2000s. But and the program director was a woman by the name of Leslie Fram, wonderful woman. and real Cowboy Mouth fan. They decided to do a remote from Mardi Gras. So they got a hotel at the hotel room at the Royal Sonesta, and they wanted it was a morning show, so they would broadcast from like 6 a.m. to 10. So they asked me to come and do a Mardi Gras remote, and it was Mardi Gras, so I wasn't gonna be nice and pleasant and be ready. It was Mardi Gras. I mean, anybody knows it's Mardi Gras. I'm not gonna not have a good time just because I'm gonna be on national radio. So they got me there. And no, I got there. I actually walked there after Cowboy Mouth had played a late show. Yeah, we had played a late show that night. And I remember dancing on, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was dancing on the bar of either the House of Blues or Rendon Inn, clutching a bottle of Jack Daniels and just tap dancing, watching the sun come up, go, oh my God, I have to get to the radio station. Unfortunately, I had a bicycle because I wasn't going to drive. I had a bicycle and I just rode it drunkenly from all the way from there to the Royal Sonesta. I guess it had to be the House of Blues. Yeah. And I got there and it was in a hotel room. They set up the thing and I got to the room. All right, well, I'm here. They're like, all right, we're going to interview you in 10 minutes. I said, good, wake me up. And then they followed me after the interview and I went out and played with some street musicians for about 20 minutes and they kept going back. Hey, this is now 99X with Fred LeBlanc, Cowboy Mouth, playing with some street musicians on Bourbon Street. It was fun, a lot of fun.
Well, it seems like you have a lot of memories of like drinking heavily and then being on camera or on mic,
When you're young and you're crazy, that's what you do during Mardi Gras. When you get older, you need to be a little more responsible.
I remember. I mean, because you and I are among those lucky to be alive today.
Oh yeah. I'm very fortunate. I'm a very fortunate guy. I'm very, very lucky. But at the same time, you and I have also worked very, very hard to be able to enjoy the things we've enjoyed over the years. So.
Fred, it is always a pleasure to see you, and it's just like great to talk to somebody. I feel like I'm face to face with you, and I'm not wearing a mask, so that's really nice. But it's great to see you, and thank you for sharing your Cowboy Mouth and Fred LeBlanc Mardi Gras memories with us.
Hey, can I share something with your audience if you don't mind?
Sure.
I've been doing the whole during the whole COVID thing. I've been doing acoustic shows online, like every 2 weeks or so on the band's Facebook page. Just go to Cowboy Mouth on the Facebook page. And this Saturday, I'm going to do a Mardi Gras themed acoustic show. It's just me and my acoustic guitar, but our fan base really seems to like them.
And look, and Fred's known for like being this wild guy behind the drums, but he really is when he does acoustic stuff, it's really great. And there's still energy there, but then there's also a lot of reflection. So you do a great job with that. Thanks for letting us know. And I know people will be tuning in.
Saturday night, 7:30 p.m. Central, Facebook, Cowboy Mouth. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be our Mardi Gras show for the year.
Fred LeBlanc, Cowboy Mouth, remembering Mardi Gras past.
And looking forward to Mardi Gras future.
Yes.